Daniel Pratt is an appropriately named flat earther who is going to lead us down a rabbit hole of shockingly bad information. Sadly, he has a voice that would put one of the Queen's royal guard in a coma. Before he does though, be sure to smash that subscribe button. And I do mean smash it. Okay, let's begin.
Morning, folks. Just checking in. So first things, I'm going to leave a link to Taboo Conspiracy's video he put out yesterday.
Jesus, man, compose yourself before filming. As for the video he references, we'll get to that video soon.
Like I said in the comments, the guy should be indicted as a serial globe killer. And the video yesterday he put out was kind of about these globe propagandists that lie constantly. At this point, it's hard to believe it's not because they can't see the truth. I mean, once again, I've touched on numerous times, these people for 5 years straight have sat out here and done nothing but try to attack, belittle, shame, flat out lie, make stuff up. Anything to try and discredit Flat Earth.
The Flat Earth discredits itself. No one has ever, as you say, flat out lied about anything. It's also been happening for far more than 5 years.
They work 100 times as hard at that as they do trying to prove their pathetic, non-existent imaginary globe.
What is it with you flirters and always having to resort to insults? No, seriously, I want to know. If anyone knows, please do leave a comment.
And it can only be at this point after 5 years because they know it's a pathetic, imaginary, non-existent globe. Also,
repeating something doesn't make it so. Only Picard has that power.
Make it so.
He does a great job at showing that. There's still billions, if we listen to their numbers, of people that, definitely fall into the naive category. They think the majority must know the truth, not realizing 99% of people after grade school just don't really investigate it.
It doesn't warrant investigation, as we have so much evidence proving a globe. Even the ancient people knew that the Earth was a globe. I honestly do not understand why you think there is some grand conspiracy around this, to the point that only, as you say, 1% of the population, or less, is privy to the knowledge that the Earth is flat. Now, I'm not a psychologist, nor do I know the factors in a flat earther's life. But are your lives so empty that you need to make up conspiracies that only you guys know about, no matter how much ridicule you come under, or how much evidence to the contrary you are shown, that you'll stand by it? Sorry for the rant, folks, but someone has to make this video interesting, and it sure isn't Sleepy McBoring voice here.
So there is an abundance of naivete out there, spurring people on to just follow the crowd and go with what consensus says.
Consensus, as well as every bit of evidence, including photos and videos. Photos and videos that existed before Photoshop or any other kind of computer editing software. Hell, even experiments you can do yourself. Mostly aimed at children, but grown-ass adults can do them too. But no, you'd rather stick your fingers in your ears and pretend that the Earth is flat so that you somehow feel special. Also, scripting is a thing. It helps you organize your thoughts and be more coherent without annoying ums and ahs, or awkward silences. Okay, moving on.
However, these people that come out and do anti-flat earth videos constantly, they're a whole different breed.
Just like me. I'm one of them. I love it when people talk about me, or people like me.
Number one, as I've pointed out numerous times, they all have one thing in common. They all seem to hate God with a passion. And I would indeed say that's the true driver of their lies and deceptions. Their wicked little ways.
That's not true. I don't like to touch on religion, and most, if not all, of the people making these types of videos are atheists. They don't hate God. They simply don't believe in an existence. You can't hate something that doesn't exist. For me personally, I don't hate anything or anyone. Hate is a useless emotion.
I think the second thing that they probably have in common is they were all probably little geek nerd Star Wars fanboys in school that got picked on and bullied constantly.
That's one hell of an assumption there. I think you'll find that many geeks and Star Wars fanboys are just ordinary people too, and they don't all make YouTube videos. I think what you mean to say is that these kids were smarter than you and you're still bitter about it. Way to project there, dude.
And they got out of school and realized that by parroting the nonsensical babble of the heliocentric model, it made them appear intelligent.
Okay, I was only half kidding about the projecting thing, but now...
As long as they could read and recite and parrot the theories and postulations of astrophysicists, it makes them seem intelligent, which in turn allows them to mentally and emotionally bully people the way they were bullied when they were younger.
We're not bullying. We're attempting to educate you. Or at the very least, we try to help you see that you're making a fool of yourself on a global platform in front of potentially billions of people. In a way, we're trying to prevent you from being bullied. And since you turn off your comments, I'm going to assume this has already happened to you.
And then us flat earthers came along and resoundingly proved that all that is nonsense.
You proved the flat earth is nonsense? Yes, you did. Time and time again. For this, we thank you. For the hundreds of hours of content that you provide, we also thank you.
And they're not intelligent. They're incapable of actual science and discerning reality from fantasy.
Says the person whose first argument was that we hate God.
So now their grounds, they're not big enough, strong enough, or man enough to confront someone face to face physically.
I will do it. I will gladly argue face to face with any flat earther. If you mean to fight, as in fisticuffs, that's a little primitive and I can't condone violence.
To stand up for themselves. So they developed this attitude and pattern of bullying people and trying to humiliate people with their false intelligence and hubris.
Oh, no, you do that to yourself. You don't need us to humiliate you. We don't make you upload videos with outrageous claims and no evidence. We simply point out the flaws in your arguments in an entertaining way. Since most flat earthers aren't the most entertaining of people.
Babbling nonsense theories. And now that we've come along and shown that none of that is true and none of it makes any sense.
To you. None of it makes any sense. To you.
They're right back to square one. They're the little nerdy, geeky liars on the internet. And because we're showing the proof and disproving their lies, Well, all they can do is attack and try to maintain their false sense of intelligence and superiority.
The only proof any flat earthers have provided actually proved that the Earth is a globe to the point of spending $20,000 on a gyroscope.
So, nothing could be more obvious at this point that all of these anti-flat earth... Just yesterday, I had some other new channel out there put another video about me, putting my comments up there saying, oh, look at this. Nothing to do with the globe. Nothing to do with proving the globe. This monkey apparently can't... If they're happy with being the 1,000th person in line to try to humiliate me or shame me in some way for exposing that they're just a geeky little Star Wars fanboy...
I get the impression you don't like Star Wars. I mean, sure, the new ones weren't so great, but for its time, the original was a cinematic masterpiece. Even if you ignore the story, the visual effects were amazing for 1978.
I mean, if they're happy with being that unoriginal, unscientific, and unintelligent, go right ahead. I mean, do you really think after 5 years of being bashed and belittled by you morons that you're going to shame me away or scare me away or something?
Honestly, I don't think you have any dignity left to lose. So no, I don't think that at all. I do hope you keep making content, but I also hope you actually take the time to look into the science behind it all. As I've mentioned previously, Walter Bislin's blog has a huge amount of resources that show how things should look on a flat Earth compared to how they actually look in reality. It really is an amazing resource.
You people are ridiculous. You're pathetic. There's no more righteous, deserving candidates to get coronavirus if it were real than you globe propagandists. And I wish you would die from it. Seriously.
We'll leave Daniel here. He looks like he needs to nap and maybe calm down a little bit. Next time we're going to look into that video by Taboo Conspiracy that Daniel mentioned earlier. I do hope you enjoyed this little journey into the mind of a flat earther and what they really think of the people that critique their videos. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, a special thanks to Purple Haze and Ghostface for their support on Patreon, as well as all the other Patreon supporters. You can show your support by simply liking, sharing and subscribing if you haven't already. As always, links to the source video and the sources are in the description below, as well as links to Patreon, merch, the subreddit and what other crap I decide to link to. Until next time, friends, don't be a dick. Good night.